You're listening to The Real Short Box, a comic book podcast made for geeks by geeks.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, listening to us. We are The Real Short Box. My name is Donald. I am here with my compadres, one Mr. Kevin, one Mr. Showtime, one Mr. Sensational, and we have a special guest, Big Sal in the his house. What's up, Big Sal? Thank you for joining.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Are you going to drop some beats on us, sir?
Beats?
Yeah,
Put a couple of bars out there.
Drop some bars on these fools.
Yeah. Give us something.
I can't do that right now.
Yeah, just freestyle.
Freestyle for these fools.
Yeah, I'll do some beatboxing.
That's the sound of car.
That's the sound I make when I start up too.
I feel like I'm watching a cartoon
He
from
can't drop
1960.
beats because he doesn't eat vegetables.
He's like, is cotton candy a vegetable?
No.
No, it's
the paralyzed woman wasn't giving me, any
He's
grief.
talking
not. Oh
candy.
yeah, you weren't eating your. Yeah, that's the worst part about how you have to put him back in the wheelchair. Is that the
Well, no,
joke?
I'd leave him on the bed
joke?
laying down.
It was a bad joke. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on from that. We're talking about seminal covers, our favorite seminal covers. Am I correct, Evan?
Yes, sir.
Seminal covers.
Favorite comic book seminal covers.
Yeah. Best covers. Our favorite covers.
Your favorite comic covers.
I'm sorry, we're using too big of words.
Fancy.
Look,
cool
we're
covers.
a fancy show, man. Whoa!
Hey, just because I'm wearing my overalls today doesn't mean anything, and
Don't
nothing
you know
else.
this man?
Your overalls a dope.
This man was an Ohio Buckeye State scholar. How dare you insult this man?
What? I was? I'm a Rhodes Scholar.
Oh my God.
I was on the road, like literally. Yeah, that's how I got my degree.
Hand jobs to truckers.
Jeez.
Hey, and they all appreciated him too. That's
That's messed up.
That's how you get cross country.
That's how you get crossed out. That's true. That's
Yeah.
But you see, that's dangerous though. You know, there's a lot of serial killers or some of those.
Well, because
some of those truckers are serial
they follow
killers.
you around after a while because you got soft hands.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got a pretty mouth.
You got a pretty mouth there, boy.
Oh, you got a pretty mouth. All right, so let's talk about some of these covers. Let's go with who wants to go first. Actually, let's take a volunteer.
It's really quick.
Yeah.
House of Secrets 92.
Wow.
Hey,
92.
Wow. That's messed up.
Hey,
It's okay.
It is. It's a great cover.
great cover.
It's okay.
It's iconic.
Yes.
Very, very, very well drawn.
Yeah.
You know, just because Sean's a fucking hater.
Sean thinks that Swamp Thing #1 is a better cover
I'm
than
not.
House of
okay,
Secrets 92.
He says it's a better cover because the Swamp Thing's on the cover.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not. It's a better Swamp Thing cover. What I'm saying, it's a more iconic cover.
Yeah.
It's a cover when you
House
walk
of Secrets
by,
has definitely been homaged
you know
way more.
exactly what that book is when you walk by.
There is a Mr. Monster comic out there right now that is an homage to that House of Secrets. Like right out in the shop. I've seen it. And
Can we recreate that cover right now with putting you in a wig and Kevin creeping up behind you?
no, let's not do that. Let's just do it. Let's not do it and say we did. But since I mentioned Mr. Monster, I might as well go first. And that's only because one of my favorite covers of all time is Doc Stern's Mr. Monster #2. Now, I don't know if you guys ever seen it before, but that's like a snippet of it right there. Mr. Monster #2. Beautiful purple cover with like a bat in the background with the logo Mr. Monster. He's got two guns. One of them's like has some smoke coming off of it and behind the logo of Mr. Monster. And then there's a group of children that looks like they were out for Halloween trick-or-treating. And they're standing around him and like clutching his legs like they're frightened of whatever's coming towards them. And Mr. Monster's there to save the day. Beautiful purple cover. Dave Stevens, some of his best art. And if you don't know who Doc Stern Mr. Monster is, please look it up because he's like Blade, but like, I don't want to say cooler, but probably just as cool in a different way. Like he
Definitely doesn't have a suit.
There's a lot of like, oh, I was bitten, my mom was bitten when I was young as a vampire or whatever, and I got turned into I'm half human, half vampire, or I walk that line, or blah, blah, blah. That's kind of Doc Stern, Mr. Monster's shtick. He's actually been around since, if I recall, like the 40s. Like there was an original version of Mr. Monster back then, and he did not get revived until the 80s when they decided to do this comic for Eclipse. So Doc Stern, Mr. Monster, this issue #2 is It's so good. It's so good. I love this cover. It's beautiful. I can't talk about enough about it. Just look it up, guys. Anyway, moving on. Who's next?
Okay, I'll do it then.
Yeah, do it.
A favorite cover of mine that's a little hard to find is Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes number 23, the Adam Hughes Supergirl cover, the variant.
More of a newer cover.
Are you talking about the one where it just shows her butt?
No,
No?
this one's not even it's not a cheesecake or anything like that. It's just a great.
Oh, yeah. That is a really nice cover.
Yeah.
Boy, that is new. Yeah.
No, it's about 10 years old now.
So it's,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
it's
that's
kinda,
really
so
new.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of strange, right? It's one of those things where there's two
It's-
ways of looking at it, right?
Yeah.
Most iconic covers,
Uh-huh.
favorites,
Yeah.
and the cover is just your favorite. He's a big fan of Adam Hughes, and that's a really nice cover.
Right. It's
It's
true.
a great cover. It's, I think what I like, besides all the usual aesthetics of it, the, what's it called? The colors, but it's also just the pose, the composition,
Yeah.
the lighting, and the fact that it's not a cheesecake cover. you know?
Right. Well, if you want an iconic cover, I would say, like, for me, it would have been Green Lantern number 49 from 1990 something. I can't remember what year, but it's when he went insane. Hal Jordan, and he thought
You mean
the more,
the Kobe cover?
the more rings he got, he thought the more powerful he could be. They've homaged that a ton of times now.
That's true.
It's and it's gained in popularity because DC could never do that now. They could never make Hal Jordan crazy and kill a bunch of people
No, because
to take their ring.
stupid fucking Alex Ross and fucking Jeff Johns were crying about that shit.
Right. Oh yeah, they were so upset, and
Yeah.
because of their sway in DC, they were able to bring him back. And now we don't have Kyle Rayner basically at all, and we barely see Guy Gardner.
Fucking Wally West.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Wally West is another one. He's
Wally
barely.
West.
He's come back some.
He has, but Wally West was a superior character. Barry Allen was a fucking dunce of
Yeah,
a character.
He was a dud.
And then
boring.
Jeff Johns decided to make Barry Allen Wally West, and now everybody loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ezra Miller. I think that's not Barry Allen.
No, not at all.
No,
it's Wally West. He's playing
That's
Wally
what
West.
I'm saying.
That's
what
not
I'm
his
saying.
name. His name is Isra Chokabich Miller.
Oh yes, that's true.
I
That's
did not
true.
know that. Oh,
True.
I forgot about the middle name.
Forgot about
But the
that.
point
Okay.
being is, they created, Mark Waid and Ron Mars created these great characters.
Yeah, and then they just kind of
But because of nostalgia,
Shoved them under the rug, so to speak.
member berries.
yeah. So Showtime, you brought that up. So let's hear something seminal for you.
No, well, because like I said, Hot Secrets to me is a great cover because it's just like you said, it's how it was, how the cover looks. But for me, my favorite cover of all time, for me, just because of the character, is Secret Wars 8.
Oh, but that's another seminal cover, really.
For me,
And it's been homage God knows how many
and
times.
it's just one of
Yeah.
those covers that for me was like one of the. I was always a big Spider-Man fan.
As you should be.
But when that book hit, and it was a symbiote suit, it wasn't Venom yet.
Mm-mm.
It was Spider-Man getting all his power and not knowing what to do with it, and
Unlimited webbing.
you just hoped it would just continue on forever. And then of course he becomes Venom. So that's kind of like one of my favorite characters. And then the cover's kind of iconic for me. So that's kind of one of my favorite books covers of all time.
Great choice, sir. Great choice. And I know you have 3 copies of it.
I probably want more than that, but
Yeah, it's a great book, great cover too. Big Sal, what do you think?
Well, you know me, I'm a big Predator fan, so like the one comic book that I've actually liked lately is the first issue of the 2022 Predator, where he's on top of the Avengers building holding Iron Man's head.
Yes,
That
variant cover
dude,
was sick.
it's a City Hunter Predator. Even though I bought the Jungle Hunter and I saw the City Hunter, and I was like, dude, those are the most iconic Predators anyways, like from part 1 and part 2. And I bought both of them. But that Avengers one, man, I can't stop looking at it. Like I have it literally hanging on the wall with all the other Predator comics that I have. But that one's like really sick. I really enjoy that one.
Yeah, that's a great cover. I love that cover.
Yeah.
Like if you're not paying attention, you might not see him holding Iron Man's head.
No.
Like you might not see it if you're not paying attention.
Oh yeah.
Because I looked at it a couple times and I never saw that. And then I went and I was just putting books away and stuff and I looked again and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like this is vicious.
Yeah.
Like he's got Iron Man's head. And that's a really cool concept, is like the Predators attacking, superheroes within the superhero universe of Marvel or DC or whatever. Right? It's Marvel now, obviously, because they own the rights to Predator. They own the rights to Aliens. They did the same thing with Aliens. They had aliens attacking them.
Well, apparently there's actually Disney's trying to sell it to Universal now.
Really? That's a great idea for both of them.
Yeah.
Because Universal could really use it, and they're the house of monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are they gonna sell Predator and Aliens to Universal?
That would be
I don't
fantastic.
know about Aliens, but I know for a fact that I heard, from some sources that they are trying to sell it to Universal because they have 10 episode Alien versus Predator animation that they're holding for some odd reason. And I know why they're holding it is because if they release it on Disney Plus and the kids are watching
Hulu, you can put it on Hulu. They probably own Hulu.
They'd have to put it on Hulu. That's their only alternative.
But yeah, they're holding it hostage for some reason. I think why they're doing that is because they're actually trying to get a deal to just get rid of it to Universal.
Let me ask you something. Did you like Prey?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think that was better. Of course, the first Predator was Arnold Schwarzenegger's.
Of course, it's the best.
It's the best. But I think Prey was probably the best out of all of them for me.
Yeah.
You don't like Predators?
They were okay. I mean, those were okay. They got cheesier as they got as they went.
Look,
2 was good with Danny Glover. Was good with Danny Glover.
And then 2 was surprised me.
Yeah.
I
But then the
watched 2
first
last
Alien versus
year,
Predator I
and
thought was pretty good.
But then
it's not that
3,
bad.
Yeah.
4,
and then the first Alien versus Predator, I thought that was fun.
But Prey kind of like explained where it all started. But it was really well done. Like it wasn't it wasn't super. I mean, I'm not saying it was believable because of course it's not real, but it was shot really well, and the character really well. The story was really good. It was well planned out.
I thought one of the best things they did was they balanced out how the hero and the villains and the Predator fought. Meaning, all the later ones, like they're big military guys, with like big weapons. This is
they went back to the roots.
Yeah,
of
but
the original,
it became just like the when it became just Arnold.
Yeah,
but someone said to me, you couldn't believe that you couldn't. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but they were saying they didn't believe that the girl could fight the Predator. But what they don't understand is you got to go back and watch. At the beginning, when she's doing all her thing, he's not trying to fight her. He feels she's insuperior to him.
she's not worthy enough.
So he's not even.
Yeah, that's why he targets the brother
and everyone
the
else.
hunters.
He's trying to kill all the brothers, and he's letting her go free. So she uses that to her advantage. And when he really then begins and goes, she's an adversary, and then tries, it's too late. She's already gotten the advantage.
Yeah.
And then people don't realize. It was like, oh, how's that going to happen? Watch the movie.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie, he doesn't kill her. He has a chance when he's got her down on the ground, he can kill her, but he doesn't kill her because he doesn't feel she's
a threat.
Worthy of, and then by the time he realizes she really is, it's
too late.
Yeah.
That's why I really liked Prey. And I just like the direction that this director went in with this because now just like in Predators, remember where they're in that scene where Lawrence Fishburne is like, oh yeah, I'm a scavenger or whatever, and they see that samurai sword and how old it is. So they've been kidnapping and training for years. So now that they're doing that, just imagine if they do another Prey 2, where it's in feudal Japan or
I want to see medieval knights.
Dude, they could easily do
predators.
That. They could easily do that, but I think it would be sick.
Yes.
I think it would be super sick if they go to to Japan.
Yeah,
and
samurais.
And you just see because the predators are invisible.
Predators versus ninjas.
And then since using Buddhism and meditation, you can see them like the samurai master is trying to.
All right, you've gone too far.
What I would say is the predator.
You've derailed because this conversation. Yeah.
See, because what predators do is they observe first, and then they're like, "Oh, this fool just killed a bunch of people.
Yeah,
I want to fight him now."
Right.
So if he sees a samurai dude take out 10 enemies, and he's just right there, and then all of a sudden, samurais, they're very, they have that spider sense kind of, thing. So he's looking around, and just imagine you're looking around. And you just see cherry blossom leaves lay out, just make the
Honor.
Predator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, oh shit, and he brings out the sword, and then that's when the Predator reveals himself. Because that's what you know what I mean? Like that's what the Predators do.
Through.
Well, the Predators in the Predators
Sleepless
movie,
Nights.
the Japanese character interested of did have the samurai sword. They kind of have like a nice little battle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you do that,
back
and,
then,
and it's like an
Japan.
important warlord,
right?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden, you know, the student and then the student's son go and try to defend their honor of losing their warlord.
Losing their warlord.
You know what I mean? And like it's. Trust me, I like just like Donnie says, I have thought about
these
so
things.
much of the Predator because, have you guys seen The Predator that Shane Black directed?
That one I haven't seen that one yet.
Dude, you're doing yourself a favor. It was a piece of shit.
Yeah,
movie.
people told me
It was super disappointing because Shane Black.
He was in the first one. Shane Black was in the first one. He was Hawkins.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm happy that the Predator clotheslined the shit out of that motherfucker. Like he promised that, yo, we're going back to the basics. You're gonna get the Predator that you always wanted. Like, you know, you're gonna see
but then he made him CGI. What the fuck?
Yeah, it wasn't even that, but it was like the movie was
the
like
worst.
The movie was about a fucking oversized predator wanting to kidnap an autistic kid. What the fuck does that?
Doesn't make any sense.
What the hell?
Doesn't make any sense.
That didn't make any sense.
I mean,
it's a Shane Black movie.
That's one of Kevin's nightmares. He's had that for years.
What about
a predator?
About him being kidnapped by a predator.
You know, if they make that movie, if they could make a stupid movie like that, why not have Predator versus Jason? You know, Jason killed people.
You know what? I would throw the Predator in so many places.
Yeah.
So Predator in Crystal Lake. You know, looking for Jason.
What's the Predator with Predators?
Dude,
Predator goes to the mall to buy some new jeans.
Right, none of them fit right. It's all that new spandex included in all the pants and too tight.
But I would also want like a well done Predator versus Alien movie.
Yeah, that'd be one more shot of it.
Dude, I was like going through the comics right here, and I luckily found the whole series of Alien versus Predator War, and I just finished reading all that.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why do these motherfuckers that have so much resources that they own this stuff?
It's ego, man.
But it's not ego. It's
ego and politics.
I just feel like they're just idiots.
Yeah,
it's also politics too.
All right, let's get back to these covers.
Oh, sorry,
we're off. All right, and let's circle back around. It's your turn. What are you going with?
Green Lantern issue number 76.
That's a terrible choice.
Wow, would you tell Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil, God rest their souls to their face? That
he did.
I actually
and that killed them.
Yeah, that was me.
Disrespectful.
I'm sorry.
Disrespectful.
It was my fault. No, I look. I'm not saying anything about their work. I'm just saying that because you chose it, I now don't like it.
I see.
Too much green.
You ruined it.
Yeah, you blew it.
Sal, do you like the cover? If you do, then maybe he'll like it.
I mean, it's dope.
It's an iconic.
But
cover.
I've seen better Green Lantern covers than that.
Yeah, like number 49, where he's got all the rings.
Dude, that's pretty hard. That's pretty hard.
I mean, it's a great cover. I give you that. It's a great cover, but by far not.
Kevin's leaving.
No, it's a great cover. It's just not one of Neil Adams' best. There's so many other Neil Adams covers that you.
I know you like the Superman where he's breaking.
I don't like that one either.
I love that
one. I like Batman 227.
That's a good one.
Great one by Neil Adams. Batman 234. Another great Neil Adams.
I noticed a trend on which Neil Adams covers he likes.
Oh, Batman number. Yeah, I love Batman.
No, there's an X-Men cover that he did. I just can't remember the number, which is really good too.
Is that the Banshee cover?
I believe so.
I love the Banshee cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Talk about that one, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's a beauty.
So
Banshee cover.
I think I appreciated Neil Adams' covers better once he was gone. So,
wow.
Damn.
Wow.
That's fair.
Because when he was gone, they did this whole thing on YouTube, the story of his, and they started to show all these covers he did. There's a lot of good covers out there.
Yeah. He did a lot of great covers.
His old stuff, super great. A lot of the new stuff he did, because as covers have gone modern, there's just too much on it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the cover just has
too splashy. It's too splashy.
And older covers, a little more basic, but the art was a little better. Sean's a huge Dave Stevens fan, and I'm starting to check out more of his stuff now, and they're just. I don't want to say plain, but that's what the simplicity makes them so much nicer. because then you focus on the content. But when a cover has so much shit going on, you're like, oh, it's a great looking cover. But then you put in your box, no big deal. But you look at a cover, and I'm going to go back to House Secrets 92. It's simple. But it's just,
it is.
like, I bought this shot when I was looking for Dave Stevens stuff, and I went with him and I bought me a King Kong cover, Dave Stevens.
Yes.
Such a great cover.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as I look at it more and more, because I was a huge, when you're a kid, you're a huge Godzilla Kong fan. As you look at it, simple. It's so nice.
Yeah. Stevens was the master of that, the master of simplicity and beauty within that.
Well, a very nice, tight, fine line, too, on his figure work.
Can you say that slower? And with like
nice
a Russian accent?
Flint.
Hey, you want to play that Hitler Ronald McDonald video? But no, so I think like covers nowadays are some really good ones. You know, like Alex Ross does, Jason Hodge Campbell does some good stuff. There are some really nice covers that are. George Jimenez is really nice, really good stuff. But sometimes the covers can just have too much.
Yeah, it's too splashy. Yeah.
And that's why I think, and I'm sorry,
that's why he hates George Perez.
Wow.
That Neil Adams cover you're showing,
a lot of busy work.
It's a little too splashy.
There's a lot to it. But look. We can all agree though that like we have our favorite artists, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, another one for me happens to coincide with a very iconic cover. But I'm a big Bolin fan, Brian Bolin. Mm-hmm. And when he did the cover to The Killing Joke,
oh yeah,
that was pure genius. Like you cannot deny how beautiful of a cover that is. It's so good that it's been replicated so many times by so many artists. But just the fact that the Joker on any cover, like people collect Joker covers because most of the time they're really original. Like I think, was it, and correct me if I'm wrong, was it Neil Adams that did the one with the birthday candles?
No, that's Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Really? Okay. Well, that one's fantastic too.
Neil Adams did the one with the playing card.
Yes, that was a good one too.
That's it. Yes, the playing card.
Not a key.
Not a key.
Considered a key
because of his art.
Because of the art. Considered a key.
Same thing with the birthday candles. That one's considered a key because of the art.
Yeah, not a key, but considered a key.
And this one just happens to be both. Like the Killing Joke, it just happens to be both because it's just so beautifully done. And Bolin has done that consistently throughout his career. He did another Joker cover. I think it was Legends of the Dark Knight number 50.
Yeah.
With the Joker cat. No, it was the cat.
Yeah,
he had the cat sitting by him, and the cat had the Joker smile too. Another seminal issue that's also considered a minor key, but because of the cover. And it's, again, because of the Joker. So I feel like the Joker kind of is the uniting tie that binds a lot of great art together in us being drawn to it. Because the Joker is a very polarizing character.
You ever find it crazy that when you look at books and you pull a cover out, it looks so great, and you know in your mind that has to be, for instance, a Neil Adams cover. That's the way it's drawn. But when you look closely, it's not a Neil Adams cover. But the person drew, how can you say it?
Mimic his style.
And kind of in honor of?
In honor, or just because he was so used to watching that style.
Yeah.
You know like who had a great style was like Romita. Romita's Spider-Man was great, right? McFarlane's a different level in a sense, more to it. But Romita was just simple.
Right. Ditko did a really great Spider-Man too.
I remember you were having a conversation showing me the Spawn, you know, between the McFarlane and then the other dude,
Barbieri, and Capullo. The Capullo's art is so much more simplistic, so much nicer.
Yeah.
But McFarlane's inking is just on a different level.
Yeah.
And you look at there's 3 books, right? There's King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and Regular Spawn, and Scorched. 4 different artists drawing those books, and you look and all look different.
Right.
But you can almost tell who drew it by just looking at it, because Capullo's art. Because McFarlane himself said Capullo's probably one of the best artists out there, but the art's but you can tell by the artist. George Jimenez, he draws the Penguin, and he looks like Danny DeVito. like the
Mhm.
Danny Vito penguin from the movies. I don't-
What was it? It was Gary Frank, I want to say, did Superman, and it looked like Christopher Reeve.
Right.
Yes.
They draw that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
They draw inspiration
Yeah.
from what they see, right?
Mhm.
So, Ramita Junior, sorry, at first would draw a lot like his father.
Yeah.
And as he got older, he started to build his own style. And I do believe that when he was drawing inspired by his father, his artwork was that much better than it is now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, let me ask you something real quick, though. What book do you think, what title has had the most consistently great artists on it? Yeah, that's a tough one.
I can tell you what.
Consistently, yeah.
I can tell you the book.
I would say ASM for quite some time. Amazing Spider-Man for quite some time.
I'm not saying like time period. I'm just saying great artists working on it. Like for example, Spider-Man had McFarlane. Spider-Man had Ramita.
It's gonna be it's gonna be Marvel in terms of a
Steve
company.
Ditko.
It's gonna be Marvel
Right,
in terms of
Steve
company.
Ditko.
I think it's Marvel in terms of a company. And probably ASM is probably the easiest one to go with.
Mhm.
DC,
Maybe Batman.
who was a better Batman artist prior to Neil Adams, right?
Carmine Infantino was
Yeah,
really
pretty
good.
Carmine Infantino was pretty great.
I mean, the thing is, Batman been around and he went through so many stylistic changes due to trends.
Yeah.
So you have Bob Kane. You have who's the guy that shadowed Bob Kane?
But I think
The guy who claimed Jerry Robinson.
yeah, Jerry Robinson created the Joker.
Yeah.
But I think what Neil did is Neil brought it back
Or Bill
almost
Finger.
back to back to the old school, right? He brought it
He's
back
right.
and then kind of made it
Part
better.
of the creation, then.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would say Marvel. I think Marvel's Spider-Man's probably had the best artist on the book more often. than
Also
not.
X-Men.
I think the answer is
has some good
X-Men
ones, too.
more. I think the correct answer is actually X-Men.
X-Men has some.
Well, you
good
had
ones,
You had Byrne,
Well, no, let's start from the beginning. You had Kirby, not his best work, I'll agree.
right?
Then you had kind of 70s guys. Then you had Steranko. Then you had Neil Adams. Then the book went on hiatus. Then Cockrum, Byrne, Cockrum again.
Lee.
Well, hold on.
Wait, even
Then you
before
had
him. Before him.
Paul Smith. Then you had
Silvestri.
JRJR. Then you had Mark
Okay.
Silvestri.
Good.
Right.
Then you had Jim Lee. Then you had Andy Kubert.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then you had Joe Mad.
Yeah.
Then you had I like him, but Frank Quitely.
Yeah.
The funny part is
Salvador Rocco's not bad, but not great.
the funny thing is and maybe I'm
You
wrong.
were still going to.
but you just don't hear as much as you should about
Jerome
Steranko
Pena.
like you should.
Well, that's part of it is the dude's a fucking asshole. But
Is he?
He is.
Really? He was nice to us.
But his
No, he
artwork-
wasn't.
He was nice to me.
Treated me like shit.
Yeah.
He treated me nicely.
But his
Oh,
artwork
that's
is
great.
It's like second to none. His
but he has a very limited amount of artwork too. Part of it is because he got so fed up with the system that he couldn't own it. So he left the system. Like he literally hasn't done original artwork in terms of an original comic book
Some of his
since the 70s.
some of his Captain America covers are fucking amazing.
True.
Yeah, but he only did 3.
Still,
You know?
the three of the books that you pick up whenever you see them.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not saying
And
that.
his interiors. Let's talk about his interiors, for example. They did. He did an interior where he wanted to show that Nick Fury had sex,
Yes.
and they wouldn't let him do it. So basically, what he had to do was, I think it was a chair.
No, what he did is he put the gun in the holster.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's a gun in the holster, but there was clothes on a chair or something too.
Yeah.
So it was like that very.
It's a very 70s.
Yeah, very interesting way to do it. And
Yeah.
another one was like he did a whole panel where you had to read it by turning it sideways and upside down and around because the whole story took place like that. So he wanted you to follow the story like Nick was going through this maze kind of like thing.
Now,
So
talk
it was
about
very
that.
clever.
Talk about that. That's what bugs me about.
He's an innovator.
That's what does me about the new modern books, right? In new modern books, sometimes the pages are so convoluted with the art that you can't tell where the panels are end and start. Where in the old days, you could follow the panels real easy, right? And
True.
I'm not just talking
That's
about
true.
reading, I'm talking
It
about
gets
artwork.
confusing.
They just throw on the page. It's just so much shit. And you're like, okay, you kind of look at it as a whole. But you look at some of the older Silver Age or Bronze, and you can tell the panels are defined.
Yeah.
You know which way you're going.
It's confusing. Is this a 2-page splash? Does it go clear across? Or is it going across and down, across and down?
Part of that is that I think is to blame is Todd, Jim, and Rob are the blame for all
Yeah,
that.
they blew it off the page, and I get it.
They changed, like they took clarity and readability away in favor of cool, you know, making the splat like Claremont and Byrne, especially Byrne afterwards when he was scripting Lee. He was saying that he couldn't make heads or tails of stuff, and he just had to make shit off the wall because, like, the page that he turned in before did not match the story of the page he turned in next. So, and he was dialoguing. He had to bring it together to be a dialogue, and Lee was plotting it. So a lot of that, I think, is modern artists taking the wrong lessons from their heroes.
I'm gonna bring one more thing up, and then you guys can go. The one artist that we never talk about, because his artwork's super simple, super defined, and I think it's great. Stan Sakai.
Oh yeah,
Love Stan Sakai's artwork.
I'm trying to like his stuff.
It's just, it's just, and he does it all. He writes it, he draws it, he even inks his stuff, depends most of the time. But if you look at it, his artwork's so good. But, he does other covers, but he's got one character.
Mm-hmm.
That's his baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But he's done like Venom covers.
He really likes rabbits.
He does.
Yeah. I wonder if you invited him out for some stew, and then after he was finished eating it, you were like, that was rabbit. And like if he'd have a meltdown, or if he'd be like, oh, that was good.
What if after you did, you just took out samurai and just cut your fucking neck off?
Right.
Fuck you,
Sakai!
But
Racist.
Super, super, super cool dude.
That's the one, man. When I saw that Predator cover that Stan did, I was blown away.
So are you saying that you want a Predator in feudal Japan by Stan Sakai?
Hell yeah.
He'd take it.
Dude.
And with that, thank you all for tuning in and listening to us. We are The Real Short Box. You can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google, Amazon. You name it, we're there. YouTube. We do a live show almost every Monday. Check us out on Rumble Spoon Productions page on YouTube for that. Thank you to our sponsors, Splattered Frog Brewing, everybody, as well as Half's Hot Sauce. Please check them out. Check out their website. Support local people that aren't local, but they're just local.
You mean by local, but like local or crazy?
Both.
Oh.
They're both, for sure. I want to say
deals.
Thank you to everybody in this room, and thank you to you guys that are listening. Big Sal, thank you again for being a guest. We do appreciate it, sir. And Kevin, what do you have to say here? What do you have to say
For yourself.
Because if we don't see you out and about anytime soon, Kevin, perhaps we'll see you
at a wondrous and always fun-loving comic book shop.
This has been The Real Short Box. We'll see you at the comic shop. Thanks for listening.